was originally built, interestingly enough, as to emulate the elegant, funny enough, elegant grand hotels of Europe on the Upper East Side, because the West Side was becoming too crowded and society wanted something different, so they built the Carlyle 87 years ago. So it has a European charm and style, very, very intimate. And since day one, society accepted the Carlyle. And then the presidents started to come, and then you hear the stories of President Kennedy coming through and Marilyn Monroe coming through various different alleyways to meet in our hotel. So it's become a very, very storied hotel through time. I think, you know, the location of the Carlyle is one thing. You're on Central Park, or one block off Central Park. And Bemelman's Bar is an iconic bar within an iconic hotel, and is absolutely New York's finest bar. It's small, it's intimate, fabulous jazz with a New York attitude. You've got Dinner Cabaret. Where do you get Dinner Cabaret today in a five-star environment? And Café Carlyle provides that. That's absolutely wonderful. Service and hospitality doesn't necessarily evolve with the time, because it's all about people, it's engagement, it's intuitive service. So I think the Carlyle has become famous for providing those services, and because it is such a small and charming and intimate club-like atmosphere, and we have associates that have been working there up to 55 years. We have third-generation guests that are coming to our hotel. We have a 52% repeat clientele in the hotel. So the evolving is getting to know who the guests are, but truly getting to know who the guests are. Famous people will walk through our doors, walk up to the doorman or the bellman, give them a hug. They're home. Now, on the technological side or the physical side, yes, you have to update, and I'm happy to tell all your colleagues that we're going through a renovation right now. On March the 19th we started our renovation. We're going to be doing 2/3 of the inventory over the next 18 months, taking 2 to 3 floors out at a time, still remaining open. We have 50 keys out of inventory right now, so another 140 in service. So by June we'll have a new room product which we're really excited about, really excited about. New bathrooms as well. If anyone has seen the views from the 20th to the 34th floor in our hotel, that answers the question. Unobstructed views of Central Park, and we are central to Central Park. We're on 76th and Madison, so we're sort of halfway up the park. So the views are just stunning, absolutely stunning, from 20 to 34. I do not know of a view like that in New York City from any other hotel or even apartment building. We're one block off, so you're pretty much on the park. To me, it's the people. It honestly is the people. We've got a gorgeous building, and it's like a well-worn shoe. It just feels right. You pop it on, it feels right. The staff are genuine. The service isn't rote. They get to know you, and they honestly fall in love with the clientele and vice versa. So I think it's really engaged, intuitive service that makes the difference for us at the Carlyle. And I think with the new product that's going to come online by June of next year will be unparalleled. You know, I've been in and out of New York for, I think, 30 plus years, and always loved New York, and have done all the big things that everybody normally has done. But now I'm living on the Upper East Side, and I think the Upper East Side is still an undiscovered part of New York, because, you know, people go downtown or they go on the West Side or Midtown, but the Upper East Side incredible museums, incredible galleries, some great restaurants and bars. It's got everything there, really does. And I'm discovering it personally over the last 13 or 14 months. And I'm just totally charmed by, number one, the residents there, the people that live there, but the plethora of things that you can do. How could you not?
So complete renovation, 25 million, new owners have come in, invested the money into the resort. So what's new, what's not new? It's all 88 rooms have been renovated, public spaces including the lobby and a new conservatory bar in the lobby, all of the food and beverage outlets, the spa, and also the fitness center. So pretty much everything. For one, they'll definitely notice a difference in the rooms. We've kind of brought the outside in, whereas the old rooms had a heavy colonial European feel to them. We still have some nods to that, but you do remember now that you're on an island. The newest thing that repeat guests will see is just off of the lobby we have a new conservatory bar in an area that used to be called the library. It's an indoor-outdoor bar, double-sided. That's new, and it's been open now for a couple of weeks. Amazing bundle of energy. So I think our repeat guests are going to really love that. There's other things as well. We've reconcepted our main restaurant. It's no longer the Point restaurant. It's now the Island Brasserie, featuring island foods from all around the world. We have the fitness center has been completely redone, all brand new techno gym equipment, really state-of-the-art equipment. And then in the spa, we now have steam rooms and wet relaxation areas, which we didn't have before. So our repeat guests have a lot to look forward to. Bermuda is refined. It's slightly cosmopolitan, yet it's a tropical island. So unlike islands in the Caribbean, Bermuda has this refined to it. I look at it and say, it's the reason we can wear a tie, a blazer, and Bermuda shorts. It's refined. We've got the blazer and the tie, and it's slightly cosmopolitan. We have that business look, but we're on an island. We can get away with shorts, right? And I think that's Bermuda. So, I think what Rosewood has done and what the designers have done with this relaunched and reimagined property is they've brought that into the design. So like I said, if you go into the guest room, you'll see some of the artwork. There's coral art on the walls, and there's a lovely piece of artwork which is a little bit abstract. It's kind of blues and aquas and with white, and I kind of reckon it to you're scuba diving and you're looking up at the light and you see the light on the water as it's different variations of color around you. So that's in the rooms. We also have Gombe art, which is kind of a celebration of the local culture. There's a costume that the Gombe wears and a headdress, and there's some Gombe art that's featured in the lobby. So I think we've pooled all of that into it, but in the Rosewood way, right? Sense of place. So you have a real sense you're in Bermuda. When you're in that hotel, you know you're in Bermuda. Has the most golf courses per square mile than any country in the world. There's like 7 golf courses. There's 3 golf courses that you really want to play in Bermuda. That's Port Royal Golf Course, Mid-Ocean Club, and Tucker's, our course. So at the Rosewood Bermuda. Now the great thing is we have a great course. It's challenging. It's not overly challenging. It's fun. There's some amazing scenic holes with ocean views. The great part about our resort is bordering our 18-hole championship golf course is Mid-Ocean's private club golf course, which is a really challenging course. And for any golfer like yourself, golfers who are true golfers like to play a course where the pros have played. And Mid-Ocean Club hosted the PGA Grand Slam for 3 years in 2006, 7, and 8. So that's a course that players want to play. Now we can get our guests at Rosewood Bermuda onto that course Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Anybody else who wants to play that course has to play with a member. So we have an added advantage. So you come to Rosewood Bermuda, you can play 2 championship golf courses and never have to leave the resort. Multi-generational families, young couples, and young families. So what we've seen is over the years, in recent years, we're seeing multi-generational families. So it's the grandparents bringing the kids with the grandkids. There's so much to do in Bermuda. It's a safe destination. We're seeing couples and young families come because we're Zika free. So, and you know, every other guest you pass in the hallway now is an expecting mother, or it's a young family, and it's a safe place. So Rosewood really caters and appeals to those travelers because you can come onto the resort. We're 200 acres of just pristine island land, and you don't have to worry about anything. It's a safe island, safe destination, easy to get to, especially for families, whether it's from Europe, direct flight out of Gatwick, less than 7 hours flying time, and then 90 minutes out of the US. What we're seeing as well is people are doing fly out of Europe, come to Bermuda, spend a week or 2, then go to New York, 90 minutes away, do a shopping trip, and then fly back home. You'll be surprised that the island, being a tropical or subtropical island, kind of referring back to that slightly cosmopolitan, refined, has some very good restaurants. So we on the resort, we have 3 restaurants. We have the Island Brasserie, which features local island cuisine, but also island cuisine from islands around the world. There's also Sul Verde, which is a southern Italian osteria. So we have cuisine from there. We make all of our own pastas, incredible pizzas. That's located at the Golf Clubhouse, overlooking the golf course, amazing vistas. And then the Beach Club restaurant, located on the beach for obvious reasons, features seafood. So local fish and those kinds of things. But if you go across the island, there's some amazing restaurants and new restaurants out there. People are doing things just, you ask them what their concepts are, and they say, look, it's just good food, good ingredients, and really just well put together. And you know, nowadays with people having gluten allergies or allergies to certain foods, or they're on a paleo diet, there's so many restaurants across the island where you can find menus that are broad enough that can cater to that. Whereas I think in some of the islands throughout the Caribbean, that's difficult to find. The message is Bermuda is back. We hosted the America's Cup Finals last year. Bermuda is back. It was off people's radar for a while. It's back, and it's coming back with a vengeance. Rosewood is there, leading the pack, providing unique Bermudian experiences that you just can't get in other places.
First of all, because it's in Mexico, and Mexican people have this genuine ability to pamper people, to look after people. It's coming from the heart, and that means a lot, and that's very genuine. Okay, first thing. Second thing, property has been built 21 years ago with a unique concept in the way that you have corridors and tunnels below the resort. So for today, with about 105 keys, with 550 associates, 550 staff working in Las Ventanas, but you don't see them because they work below the property and they just pop up where they are supposed to pop up, right? And so when you walk in the resort, it's same as walking in a village, right? And you don't see anybody. And it's a real adventure, kind of Mexican adventure, to walk around the property and to go from surprises to surprises. But the hotel has been built like an amphitheater, in a way that every single room, wherever it is, have always a stunning view on the ocean. But of course, what I like about Las Ventanas is it doesn't tell you the story in one time. It means you arrive at the hotel, you have this very iconic reception, you pass, you have a beautiful view, but it doesn't tell you the whole story. Then you walk in the village and suddenly you see, oh, that's the beach. that's the adult pool, that's the restaurant, that's another restaurant. There is a special zip code for the villas, and when you walk along the villas, it's very, very nice. What is this gate? Oh, that's the Taiwan mansion. And you enter the Taiwan mansion, it's a very small pass. It looks very, very small compared to the price we're charging for, right? But you arrive in a vertical garden, and say 360-degree vertical garden. We've never seen that. Then you have the view, and the whole Las Ventanas is really, I like to say, is expect the unexpected, because it doesn't tell you the story in one time. It's a succession of wow factor everywhere you go. "350 days of sun a year." I think that's more than enough, right? It's a guarantee. I would say to the British customers, don't come in September, because in September is more the stormy weather. That the months we may have the 10 days of rain here, and it's okay if you come from US for 2 days. You can reschedule your weekend, but when you come such a long way for a week most of the time, you don't want to take the risk. So we're happy not to see any visitors from UK in September, but from October to August, come any time of the year, any time of the year, yeah. And we have a 99.9% guarantee of nice weather. Cabo is a true desert experience, but for travelers, it's interesting because it's a different desert. It's a different desert than the one you have if you go to Marrakesh, you have the Sahara, it's a desert. If you go to Abu Dhabi or Dubai, it's another desert. The dunes are different, the sand is different. If you go to Arizona, it's another one. And the one in Cabo in Baja California is interesting because you have so many incredible cactus, but also this kind of dry vegetation, these dry trees we call the torote trees. And the torote trees look like dead trees. However, as soon as it rains, small leaves comes almost instantly. 24 hours after a small rain, for a couple of days you're going to get green leaves, and then they disappear. So what I always recommend when you come to Cabo for a week to spend at least 1 day, we work with a very special company, and they do some ATV or a racer tour. It's not about having fun, driving fast. It's about taking the vehicles with a guide and really driving not only on the beach, but moving and driving inside a canyon, going up in the mountains, going in small villages, and discovering not only the beautiful beach of Baja, but also the inside Baja. And that's a very unique experience. Taiwan, who owns the hotel, is passionate about not only about the hotel, but also about art. And Mexican people are incredible artists, incredible artisans. And since I arrived in the hotel, and also before, but especially since I arrived with the new Taiwan mansions, the new villas, with now the new restaurant Arbor, I've been traveling all around Mexico, from Chiapas to Oaxaca, to Michoacan, Morelia, all the small villages around the lake of Pascuaro, in order to go and visit those villages, because it's very funny in Mexico in a way that one village becomes specialist in one art. So for example, you have this black ceramic called Bajo Negro. It's one village next to Oaxaca. Two other villages next to Oaxaca will be specialized in making alebrije. The alebrijes are this kind of mystic dragons that you find in the movie, in the Disney movie Coco, right? If you watch Coco, you understand what alebrije is about. And those alebrije are two villages in Mexico. One is specialized in small alebrije. The other village, opposite Oaxaca, is specialized in huge alebrije. And so we've been curating arts and artists from all around Mexico. And not only we have them in the mansion, in your residences, in our rooms, but we also have two shops with Café del Arte, and we have Galeria de Textil. So we have the best of the Mexican art in the property, and we are doing sustainable trade with them in a way that we guarantee that every single piece of art we have in the property are bought directly to the artist, and we're not doing huge margin. We're here to help, and we're here to promote and to make them living. If you take the Tenango, for example, this handmade embroidery textile from a small village, 2 hours, 3 hours drive from Mexico City. We're working with a couple of families, and you have 3, 4, 5, 6 families in Tenango who 100% depends on Las Ventanas to live. If you go to Chiapas, in the small village around San Cristobal, same thing. You have a couple of cooperative or ladies cooperative only work with Las Ventanas, and we buy everything they produce. They produce for us, for rooms, for restaurants, but at the same time for shops and for clients. If you take another example, back to Tenango, every single piece of bed runners, tablecloths we have in the property, in our restaurants, for example, they're available in the shop. But if a client comes and says, look, this is very nice, but my dining table at home is much longer and much wider, we order from the village. They have to be patient. It will take 3, 4 months, and 4 months later we'll be able to send them the product to their home. It's a Katrina made of wood with human scale, and I had the privilege to be able to design the dress, so the carved dress and all the colors of the dress, and it's at the moment currently available. It hasn't been purchased yet in the Café del Arte. The 550 associates of Las Ventanas makes the experience. It's worth it in a way that I know it's a long way from UK. However, if everything goes well, within less than a year, we will have a direct flight from UK. And this has been announced, and I'm very confident that's going to happen. That will be the first direct flight from Europe directly to Cabo. It's going to change the whole picture, and they're going to make it so much easier. However, to all your travelers, I want to remind something. So many British people go to Bali, and I used to work in Bali, When you go to Bali, you fly 12 hours and a half, 13 hours based on the wind to Singapore. Then you change the airport, you change the flight to another 2 hours, 3 hours in Singapore. Then you have another 2 hours and a half flight to go to Bali. And you have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of British people going to Bali every year. When you're going to Cabo today, whether you go through LA, but even better through Mexico City, you fly only 10 hours and a half to Mexico City. You change 2 hours, and it's only an hour and a half flight from Mexico City. So it's shorter to come to Cabo than to go to Bali. And the experience you have in Cabo is absolutely unique. It's about dessert, it's about this luxurious service. But not luxury is not the right word. It's about this genuine service, surrounding, a bit like in Bali, surrounded by hundreds of people who genuinely wants you to be happy, wants you to enjoy your holidays, and make sure you have the best possible experience.
Mayakoba is located 35 minutes south of Cancun, so we pick you up at the airport in Cancun and we get you through security and we never go back. And no, it's just a really special part of the world that, you know, celebrates just the beautiful nature that we have in Riviera Maya, that really nice connection between the mangrove, the natural lagoons, and just the Caribbean Sea. And it's this special community-like energy where guests, of course, know that it's refined, but it's just also a very comfortable space where you can breathe. I think it's the authenticity of the resort. I mean, the only thing that's not authentic in the resort is me. And you know, but I think we celebrate the culture that comes with the Mayans and the history that we are so lucky to celebrate, but also, you know, the cuisine. And just when you're whether you're in the suite and you open up the drapes of your room, you know that you can only experience have this experience in Riviera Maya. So I just think it's really important for us to just celebrate that history and to demonstrate that sense of place throughout the journey of all the guests that come visit us at Rosewood specifically. No, I think throughout every touch point, we are going to celebrate Mexico. We feel that we're ambassadors to Mexico. I think that starts with just really, personalized and genuine service, but service that's not subservient, service where, we welcome you like it's our home, and we're going to treat you as guests in our home, to all of the restaurants that are going to celebrate different regions of Mexico, cuisines that's very simple and but delicious at the same time, to the spa, that really celebrates, some of the treatments, based from the Mayans. So it's a very sensorial experience. So you really gain that touch points, and we don't want you to feel, hey, I can have this experience in Maui or Bali or Mauritius, that you can only have this experience is unique to Riviera Maya inside of Rosewood. It's such a special place to visit is, because it's a very complete experience. And while we want guests to, of course, enjoy Rosewood Mayakoba, we want you to get out. We want you to experience, the beautiful culture of the Mayans, and of course all the archaeological sites in Tulum and Coba, in Chichen Itza, but also see these beautiful underground rivers in cenotes that we have, or of course in all these beautiful islands, and see the whale sharks. I mean, I always say, the more that you know Mexico, the more you love Mexico, and I think that while some places in the world you might go for a beach trip and your memory might be a selfie on the beach or something along those lines, and where I think Riviera Maya offers a much more complete experience and a much more emotional experience for those guests who are visiting Rosewood Mayakoba. We're going to personalize the experience for every guest that comes through that comes to visit us at the hotel. But you can do we do a dinner in a garden, ceiba garden, where everything's cooked with wood, zapote wood, where we actually eat dinner with guests. I mean, the dinner's beautiful, but it's also comfortable, and it's also to say to our guests that we can take care of you during the day, but we can also dine at the same table, done at the same table. And it's just because, a lot of people talk about authenticity and, authentic experience, but when you actually live one and have a dinner like for a Mexican family, it's a very different, more special experience. A PGA tournament once a year in November. It's a Greg Norman designed course, and Camaleon is really, even, it celebrates the mangroves throughout, and the animals that you'll see, the coatis, monkeys, and that are throughout the course. And again, it just goes back to that sense of place where it really kind of says you're on this course, and you'll never see a course like it with the way it was built within the mangroves. And as I said, the only down part is it gets less and less wide throughout, so when your balls go into the mangrove, just don't think you're going to get it back. Just keep the driver in the bag, and a 3-wood works perfect. Tremendous part of our culture, and why we continue to be recognized throughout as kind of the most special resort in Mexico is we always maintain our humility, and I think we listen to, of course, our guests and our partners to find ways to enhance the experience. This year we're doing Taco Academy. This year we're inviting a different chef each year, so all the guests who would like to participate who are at the resort, so it's 4 times throughout the year, can come and learn tacos with Juan Pablo Loza, something that's really simple but they can take home and share with their friends when they get back overseas. And also we're doing a thing called Marry Oneself in our spa, and it kind of goes back to, we really feel in this day and age, it's, if you want to be a better dad, a better mom, better spouse, or a better friend, you gotta first take care of yourself. And so we have kind of initiated this program with our shaman, the hotel, where you kind of talk about your specific needs. It's only 2 hours a day, because we also know that you can't live in a bubble, and you you can kind of go away on these trips for a long time, but you have to come back to real life. So we try to program it while you're on vacation. And it's just about really simple lessons so that you can be taking care of yourself such that, you know, you can take care of others afterwards. So it's just really, I mean, I think within the hotel, it's definitely a wellness experience throughout. And so any way that, you know, we're really trying to just share as much of our culture with every person that comes to Mayakoba, Rosewood Mayakoba, as possible. Be ready to experience a very special part of the world with a wonderful culture, with wonderfully genuine and sincere people, and it will be a place that if you're like me, you're gonna just try to find any which way to just stay indefinitely, because it's, you know, I think that Mexico, you know, whether it's, you know, the Cabos or Puebla or Semino de India, Riviera Maya, just continues to surprise people in a positive way, and I think for guests of Elegant Resorts, there'll be nothing but just positive enjoyment from their experience with us. And it'll be a memory, you know, I think you can go anywhere in the world, but I think people are looking for places that give them this emotional experience and a memory, and they're going to have this emotional connection with the hotel, but more importantly with the destination and the people.